Okay, so what if we're talking about now? What's your name?
Gatsby is the name. Should we just make this about? Like,
oh, you want to do it fully in character?
No, like should we make this about the music? Like,
oh yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, yeah, that definitely works for me.
No, I mean like,
or do you not
we
want
are
to?
Already like you already are asking me these questions.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Do you want prepared
Or
responses?
we just leave it on and then just talk.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been doing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
so
still
that's just
live.
kind of how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. If you want me to cut it, dude, look, this still has plenty of time to be edited. If you need this cut down, if you need to put out a perfect product for your fans out there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll go with the flow.
Well, Merry Christmas. Happy almost New Year.
You too.
Oh. Oh, man. It's very strange having you on. I'm, like, not sure exactly what to talk about.
We can talk about spiritual things.
Ooh, okay.
If you want.
So,
if
yeah,
you
no.
are spiritual enough.
Okay. I find it
if you're
hard.
Spiritual enough.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm even in touch with my chakras.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know. I find spiritual stuff, especially as an atheist, like hard to fully buy into, even though I can kind of appreciate the aesthetic, I guess. But it seems like you are more fully bought into it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
Sure.
So what kind of, I don't know. I don't know what questions to ask. What is spirituality to you, if that's not too vague a question? Or in what ways do you practice your spirituality, if you do?
Yeah. I mean, that's tough. That's
like,
tough to
I would
answer.
assume meditation is a part of it, maybe?
No, because I don't really meditate. And I mean, there are different I'm no expert on meditation, but like any form of meditation I'm doing isn't particularly spiritual.
Really?
It's more for me to just get in control of my mind.
Like practical?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
I gotta stop. I keep like kicking over this dumbbell and it keeps making a lot of noise and I keep seeing it in the recording. I'm like, God damn it. Now I'm gonna have to say what that is. But, okay. So like a general mindfulness?
No, like all of that stuff is practical.
Okay.
Like it's, oh man.
Is it like an appreciation of some sort?
Definitely.
Like gratitude?
That's definitely part of it. Yeah, it's just it's a connection with the universe, I guess.
Does
so to
it?
Speak.
Okay. Does it? I don't know. How does it relate to any sort of religiosity, I guess? Or are those two completely different things?
Well, I'm not religious.
Okay.
I don't consider myself to be religious, but I do believe in what one might call God. You don't.
Ooh. Okay.
Is that what you're saying? You said you're an atheist, so you don't believe in...
I mean, so are you, right?
No.
Not really.
I don't really consider myself an atheist.
Okay, can you describe this more spiritual idea of what God is?
Yeah. So God is just... There's a couple ways to look at it. One is like the collective consciousness that, you know...
Yeah, define collective consciousness.
It's like the interconnection of all of us.
Okay.
There's basically like, especially as social animals, there's like a cloud of consciousness that we're all plugged into. If you can imagine like social media, like...
Is that a digital representation of our collective consciousness?
It is its own network,
right?
That the connections exist in reality, even though we don't think of any actual physical connection. I believe there is,
right?
So like, if you can imagine like in a forest, the root system of all the plants are all connected.
Yeah.
And there's, I can't remember the name of the mushroom that's like under everything. And plants and fungi, they literally like exchange information.
Yeah.
And there's actually these connections that you could really see and feel. I believe the same thing's happening with humans.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Interesting.
But the physical element is not there that we can like physically
observe.
Or observe. Yeah.
Right.
Sure,
Okay. And so God is that network itself.
Kind of. Here's another thought that I have a lot.
Okay.
That I kind of believe in. So if you imagine all of our cells, they're kind of standalone organisms on their own.
Mm-hmm.
They all intake vitamins and output waste and do all that kind of stuff the way humans do.
And divide and multiply.
And multiply and reproduce. And, so on their own, they are kind of a thing, but they also build up to this greater organism that is us.
Right.
They all contribute to this greater consciousness, which is, an organism as we understand it.
Right.
Which you could view as us. I believe we are all contributing to a greater form of consciousness in that same way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
and so that's what, like, I don't know what you would call that. We only perceive in 3 dimensions. Mm-hmm. But, like, I know, like, when you take ayahuasca, like, you might meet gods, kind of, like, maybe that is the greater organism that we're all contributing to, the gods you meet in these realms, because when you take a drug, it's, like, a slight switch in brain chemistry. Mm-hmm. Very slight.
Yeah.
And it
completely alters your entire
changes.
Perception.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this God that is a collective consciousness, or is the collective consciousness, is this a God that you worship in some way?
No, not at all.
Just are aware of it. Because it seems like I still don't make the connection between that and that being, by some definition, a god. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can bridge that gap.
Yeah. I don't know if you would say worship. I don't. Not the way people go and worship Jesus Christ. And like that. But
there's no ceremony to it.
Trying to make decisions for the betterment of this collective consciousness. Mm-hmm. That's like the connection to God, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So is that? Do you draw? And I don't know if you want to talk politics.
Sure,
but
we can.
Do you draw any sort of, like, I don't know, political ideas from that, basically? Like, are there things that you say, like, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this, but, like, does that inform your political leanings, believing in this collective unconscious or collective consciousness?
Not so much. I don't really believe that, like, this connection in God is, like, necessary for being a moral person. Mm-hmm. So, like,
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in what ways do you try to better this collective unconscious, this God?
Yeah, I mean, in just being good, just like being a good person and trying to value the right things. Yeah. Trying to not just act selflessly. Trying to make the world a better place. That's kind of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also treating yourself right, honestly, is a big part of it. Like,
yeah, because you are just as much a part of it as anyone else.
Yeah. The way you would want, if you can imagine, like, the analogy with the cells, like, you want every individual cell to treat itself good so that the whole is good. And so, like, yeah.
Okay.
There's also the theory, I know Russell Brand. I'm a Russell Brand kind of a stan. Yeah. I'm a big fan.
Gotcha.
For those of you who don't know, I know he talks about, he believes dark matter, which is expanding, that dark matter is consciousness or somehow related to consciousness. And that all of our consciousness that we don't think of as taking up any physical space actually is in this kind of realm that's right on top of us, which is dark matter.
Right, yeah. Right. Dude, I'm going to be honest, I know nothing about dark matter.
Okay.
But yeah, you say it's multiplying?
Yeah, dark matter is, like, expanding according to our mathematical projection,
Okay.
models. Yeah.
Gotcha. And because it's growing, that means it's somehow living?
No, it's just... Yeah, I guess. I mean, the idea that consciousness is expanding, I mean, it is the technology, like, is consciousness, you know? Like artificial intelligence is consciousness. It's really no different to us. We are organic robots in that way.
But you don't... Right. I don't know. Something about the artificiality, even though that's kind of a subjective line, or is where you place what's natural and what isn't. The fact that we are creating these robots, I feel like, is that consciousness?
I think so.
Or does there have to be something organic to make it that way?
I think so. The thing is, we can't...
So if I break my computer, I'm a murderer, because this is conscious.
Yeah.
It's like kicking a dog.
Sure.
Wow. I need to be better to my things.
But yeah, like, we can't comprehend higher levels of consciousness, and we kind of also can't comprehend lower levels of consciousness.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like, you can't... A fish is conscious, but can you comprehend what's going on?
Well, some people would argue it isn't. Like, self-awareness is consciousness or something.
Yeah. I think consciousness is probably all the same thing, and it's just the degree to which it's you know,
which, as long as the
quantitative changes in it changes the qualitative nature.
Right.
Of it.
So would you say that plants are conscious?
I think it's possible that they're a very low level of consciousness. Yes.
Okay.
Nothing on any scale like of what we're experiencing.
Okay. What about bacteria?
Same kind of deal.
But less likely than plants.
I have no
Hard to say.
Idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Looks like your theory's full of holes, dude. It's taking on water and you're sinking. This whole spirituality, this whole God thing, dude, crumbling around you from a simple question.
But yeah, I mean, I also think about how, like, the creative force of the universe is competition. Like, it's evolution that creates, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's true even for our artificial intelligence with algorithms, where we like pit algorithms against each other, whichever one's more effective. That's the one that wins, basically. Yeah. And it's the same as in evolution, you know, with animals and in the natural world.
Right. Do you think robots will ever need to have rights?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think about, like, are humans close to the end? You know, like,
end of what?
Our existence. Like, is artificial intelligence the next step of consciousness? And, like, our chapter's closing pretty soon, maybe. You know?
Oh, wow. Yeah, very Black Mirror.
Because I definitely think of... I definitely have the Marxist framework of historical materialism progression in my mind.
Can you explain what that means?
Yeah. So, I mean, the idea of historical materialism is that there's a progression to human societies. Right. But you can kind of take this idea and apply it to other fields, areas. Yeah. But, like, so for capitalism, for example, contained within capitalism are the seeds to its downfall. It needs to expand, and we live in a finite world. So eventually it can no longer expand and has to change to the next thing. Yeah. It's provable. Like, there are models to prove it. Yeah. Using not necessarily mathematical, but just logical. Yeah. Is it the same thing with human beings? You know? And life. Can you take that and put it into the natural world and look at it and say, oh, consciousness just continues to expand and grow from the time the first life form was on Earth all the way to these human beings, which are insanely intelligent, you know, relatively to what we see around us, know. Yeah. Insanely intelligent, complex creatures. Able to expand their own consciousness. The next thing, the next stage, the way there was feudalism, capitalism, socialism, communism, says Marx.
Yeah.
Are there these stages of consciousness as well?
Right.
Yeah. And is artificial intelligence just the next thing? That will take over, like, you know, and be the next ruler of Earth, the way humans are.
So the way that you were talking about this, like, true interconnection of plants, like, that are much more easily seen as a single organism than humans are, or a single, you know what I mean? Do you think that this technology will, like, become that, like, final true tying together of collective consciousness? Do you think that in a similar to, like, a Matrix-esque situation, like, truly one day basically all human consciousness will be combined,
plugged into it
through technology? Or do you think that that's not
we're
the direction
getting so
we could
close
go?
I mean, that's with like Elon Musk with the chip in your brain thing, like Neuralink. Like that's what we're on the precipice of,
right?
And that's the thing, like, will the end of humanity not be an extinction, but just this
a transformation
blending with AI to the point where we're no longer just animals.
A
right now we are
metamorphosis.
primates. That's all we are. Like, we are primates. We're slightly plugged into, I guess, you know, clouds, or a matrix, as you could call it.
Yeah.
With social media and with technology. But yeah, is that like the next? Is that the progression? I think it's possible.
Is the true loss of individuality our future as a species?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I mean, we are so in, I think about this too, we are so in the individualistic age.
Right.
And I think about with music so much, like, the music that gets popular is so individualistic.
Right.
It's so about individualistic pursuits and problems in relationships. And I think about how...
Well, would relationships
it wouldn't make sense.
Individualistic?
I think so.
Okay.
The way it's consumed and produced, like, it's very much, when you hear a love song, it very much makes us think about our own, us living that love story. Or when you hear, you know, any rap song about getting money, you know, like, that's such an individualistic thing. And, like, I think about how a lot of this music does not create these desires in people. It just reflects them. You know, art is just a reflection of life, and how this music wouldn't have made any sense a long time ago. Like, if you went to people 50,000 years ago in hunter-gatherer societies, and even these super romantic love stories wouldn't have even made sense, really. You know? Like, the romanticization that probably didn't even exist in that kind of way. Like, it wouldn't have made sense. And are we just in a stage where a lot of our music now, and art and all media, won't make sense because the desires of people have changed so much? So wait,
when you say that it wouldn't make sense to people then, you're talking lyrically exclusively, or do you think melodically?
Yeah, I suppose lyrically exclusively, but that's the point I was making. But I mean, musically as well, because a lot of the music has to do with...
You think if you brought culture, like, the Rolling Stones back to, like, feudal Japan,
there would be no context to it, and they wouldn't really get it. Maybe. I do think there is some music that just inherently gets people going.
Yeah,
like,
right.
And
there's bops out there.
There's bops.
Yeah, come on. There's some songs that slap.
And actually, early rock and roll, I think, really has that. Like, when you see those... Have you ever seen those YouTube videos of those boogie-woogie piano players who just go in subways and, like... Like, I think there's something almost inherent in it. That just humans like.
Yeah.
Potentially. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
But...
Yeah, no, that's true. Like, a single guy on a piano playing some music that makes you want to dance, like, that's gotta be universal across time.
Yeah.
So what do you think your music reflects? What were you
in
trying
the
to say?
spiritual context?
In general. I mean, what...
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, when you make music, we think of, like, our favorite musicians. Maybe if you are into music, if you're really into music, you know, we think of our favorite musicians as, like, geniuses.
Right.
But I don't think that's quite the case anymore, because I don't believe we're not what's so great about music, we're not creating that. We're just, like, revealing it. we are revealing the sublime that exists in the universe.
You are finding
all
a pattern.
credit be to God, which
Right,
is such a religious kind of idea. But like that's kind of what I believe, you know?
Yeah, you are discovering. It's like mathematics. You're discovering patterns that are true, whether you made them or not. And revealing them to people. And revealing them.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that goes with anything. That goes in sports. A beautiful goal in soccer, like...
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
We've been given the ability to do that.
To make beautiful things.
Yeah, we've been given by the creative force of the universe.
Yeah.
Through evolution, evolution, natural selection, which you can just use being competition.
Yeah.
That's the creative force of the universe, and that's what's given us this. And we can use it to just create cool things. Yeah, basically.
Or create/discover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right. Not actually create, just discover and kind of reveal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is this just way too friggin' deep for this podcast?
No, this is fine, dude. No, I'm way into this. You're like blowing my mind a little bit. Like, it's a lot of stuff that I really want to chew over, but I gotta keep this train moving. And I'm a bad conductor. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I want to talk more about your music.
Okay.
Tell me about how long did it take you to make this album?
Okay. I'm going back to the beginning. We've talked about this briefly.
But
it'll be
refresh
a reminder,
me.
And there's the viewers at home.
Of course, who need their content, dude.
Yeah. So when I was 19 in college, I was reunited with my guitar that Dad gave away to our cousins without telling us. Sorry, Dad. Throwing you under the bus here.
Yeah. To be fair, we hadn't really been using it.
Yeah, but yeah. And so, am I too close to the mic?
No, you're good.
Okay. So I got this guitar back with the intention of writing songs. I was never someone who just like, I never just wanted to play guitar just because I wanted to play guitar. Like, from the day one, the intention was to write songs.
Okay.
When I started playing.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I taught myself.
Wait, from day one? You mean like when we were taking lessons in middle school?
No.
Okay.
From day one of getting that guitar back when I was 19.
I see. Okay. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And taught myself a bunch of songs, pretty much all Stroke songs.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember the timeline so much, but started writing songs.
I remember you showing me some like original stuff when I was in college, but I don't know when that would have started.
One of them was "We're All Fools."
Yeah. Fire track.
Yeah. So sorry, I don't remember the timeline so well, but so got the guitar at 19, taught myself the songs.
Yeah.
Started writing. I don't really remember, but it started kind of getting serious when I was working at The Godfather, Morristown.
Yeah. Shout out.
Pizza can't refuse.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I would work until 10 or 11 and get off, and I would go to Dunkin' Donuts, get coffee, and then come home and write write.
Yeah.
And the song that really started it all and kind of made me see a direction I could take things in. But I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in. So yeah, that was the original demo to We're All Fools, and just started slowly writing these songs. And then, but I don't know what it was. I just didn't have the confidence to really go all in with it.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was. Yeah. I don't know what it was, but
to get invested, I guess.
Yeah.
To commit to it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny though, because here I am like working on these songs, but at the same time, I'm not fully committed. It's strange.
Right
anyway,
now, what do you mean?
It's like it was a contradiction. Oh, now I am.
Oh,
now
okay,
I am.
okay. I see.
But at the time, like I'm writing these songs, I know what the dream is.
Yeah.
It's to play them.
But something was like stopping you from fully diving in.
Anyway, quit my job at The Godfather with the idea of flipping houses. Got my real estate license because I thought you needed it to flip houses.
Right.
Turns out you didn't, but whatever, got the license. And then I said, you know what, now that I have this license, I'll try being a realtor.
Yeah.
Try that for a little bit and didn't work out. Heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Had imposter syndrome, basically.
Yeah.
And then I was just at a crossroads. Like, I remember Dad was like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Like, you got to do something." So I was like,
which is like a fair question, but
sure.
not always
Yeah,
because
I stagnated pretty bad in life. I kind of just spent a year doing absolutely nothing. It was so bad.
Right.
And so I decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna really just go for this.
Yeah.
So I knew I needed to move out because I just couldn't motivate myself at home. It's too comfortable at home.
I know exactly what you mean.
And you just need to feel like your own man, your own person to take life by the scruff of the neck kind of thing.
Take life by the horns.
So I looked into moving out around here. We're in North Jersey right now.
Yep. Doxed.
Yeah.
Don't come to my parents' house.
And just lost where I was.
You were moving out. You wanted to move out. You looked around here.
It was too expensive to move out here, so I said, why don't I just go to some country where I can live really cheap and just hole up and do this? So I decided to go to Peru.
Yeah.
Went to Cusco, Peru for 3 months and wrote this whole album. Came home, spent a lot of time just listening and putting final touches on it.
Yeah.
And so I had the full album in demo form. And the idea was to... And then I moved to New York. Had you
recorded vocals there already?
No vocals had been recorded.
Okay.
But the vocal melodies had been recorded with guitar.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So all the tracks... And
had the lyrics been written?
Some of them.
Okay.
Some of them.
That's okay. That's so interesting to me. I have more questions later, but go for it.
No, lyrics were almost fully written, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe not when I came home from Peru, but definitely by the time I moved to New York.
So in your music creation process, when you design a song with a vocal melody all the way through it, do you do that?
That's how I've done it on the first album. Yeah.
Completely and then start writing lyrics.
Yeah.
So you have I
have all the 5 tracks, yeah. 2 guitars, bass, drums, and vocal melody. Yeah,
that just feels like, I don't know. It's like you have this perfect, I don't know, jigsaw, and you have to find the right size words to fit in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so hard to write in music with to really say something
meaningful
in a very literal kind of conversational way. It's basically impossible.
Right. Because it's just too hard to fit and doesn't rhyme.
It doesn't rhyme and doesn't have the same magic, and it's music to me anyway is about
the lyrical meaning is
it should be a bit abstract and just magical in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And the magic is generally in the music. I mean,
sometimes there's lines that really hit you.
Oh, definitely. No, lyrics are very, very important. But it's what's that quote? Music can make you feel a feeling, and words can make you think a thought. Mm-hmm. And when you combine them, a song with lyrics, it makes you feel a thought.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, to get back to the timeline. So I moved to New York with the idea of starting a band. Mm-hmm. That was always what I had in mind. I never thought I'd be a solo artist.
Right.
Always thought it would be a band. Long story short, didn't work out.
Yeah.
Too hard to find people.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to go solo. Did a session with a producer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I don't think I did know.
Okay.
What does a session with a producer entail?
We track the song, which means recording it, I guess you would say.
Oh, okay.
And then, I mean, we just recorded my song.
Okay.
And I realized nothing wrong with the guy; he did fine. But I realized for me to get a sound I wanted, it had to be me on the boards, tweaking things, experimenting with things.
Right.
That was the only way it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I decided to re-record everything.
Oh,
and then I went to the lake.
Yeah.
I won't disclose anything.
Yeah,
doxing us
Not
again.
doxing the lake. Parents' home address, fine. The lake, sacred.
And went there, recorded all the vocals because I never record the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And mixed it, and that was it. Then I went back to the city and mixed it a bunch more because it took me a long time to just keep tweaking.
Right.
Then I dropped it, and here we are now.
Hell yeah, dude. I gotta say, you changed noticeably as a person. You're still the same guy, but the day that came out, it seemed like I don't know, you were like 100 pounds lighter, which would put you at 0
Oh,
pounds.
yeah.
Like I don't know. Yeah, you just like, you were more open to seeing people. You were more communicative. You were more.
And I'm even better, like
excited. Like just, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm even like better in the city. I feel like when I come home, I just feel like it's comfortable again, and I feel like makes me feel more like a kid again. I guess where I feel more like an adult when I'm in the city.
Yeah, right.
More on my own and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I've definitely found myself through this process for sure. Doing something that's more, when you do something that's like true to yourself, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you still like living in the city?
Yeah, overall.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, at this point, sure.
Right. Do you see, how long do you see yourself living there, do you think?
Oh man, that's tough. I have no plans really.
Yeah, fair enough.
I see as, I mean, it depends how this goes. If I get super successful with it, then I see it as always being somewhat of a home base.
Yeah.
But I want to go live in the tropics. That's like the dream. I want to go live in like Mexico or something.
Right.
Or Puerto Rico, anywhere in the tropics. Yeah.
Why is that? I know the answer kind of, but I don't want to talk about it.
What, the fruitarian shit?
Well, sure, whatever.
Okay.
Or just like, like why the tropics?
Yeah, so I follow the fruitarian diet.
Mm-hmm.
Good viewers at home.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't really feel like getting all into this.
Yeah, you don't got it,
basically, I eat almost exclusively fruit and vegetables, all raw, no cooked food. And the fruit we get here isn't as good as it would be if we were in the tropics, just picking mangoes straight off the tree. Yeah. And I mean, I just love
warm weather.
The warm weather, the beach, the tropical vibes. That's what I want.
Would you want to go somewhere predominantly Spanish speaking? Or would you
it's
not
not
mind?
Too important.
Yeah.
It's not too because
is that a plus
he's
or
asking
a minus?
Because I've largely taught myself Spanish and my Spanish is okay and I'd like to get it even better. Yeah. If possible. I guess I'd say it's a plus.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like where, I don't know. Do you have like a specific spot?
I have places that like intrigue me.
Okay.
I'm thinking a lot of like the Yucatan Peninsula just because it's close. I'd rather be close to New Jersey, New York. Mm-hmm. Just for the short flights, obviously. Yeah. And Yucatan Peninsula doesn't get hurricanes the same way, Puerto Rico, mm-hmm. Jamaica, Virgin Islands get. Yeah. Bahamas. So that's a place that's on my mind, but also Brazil interests me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you like to start a commune down there? Like, are you trying to be remote, or like, would you want to be?
I don't know. It's so far off into the future. It would take a lot of money and.
Yeah, who knows who you'll be then? Also, yeah. Who knows what you'll.
It's a distant goal, so I don't really know the answer to that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So what does it look like right now? Have you still been writing music, or?
I have not written music in like at least 2 years if my timeline's correct, which is ridiculous. And I'm so ready to get going on my next album. But I'm in this promotional phase and it kind of takes up my time. Yeah.
You don't think you could do both?
I don't know. It'd be tough. Yeah. It'd be tough. I mean, yeah, I probably could, honestly. I've been thinking about doing that. I've also been thinking about getting a band together and trying to do that again.
Oh, now that you actually have something to like draw people in.
Kind of. Yeah. And COVID is not over, but not everything is in lockdown. Not everything is closed the way it was when I was trying to start a band before.
Yeah. So you think it'd be like easier to find people who could hang out?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. And also I haven't made money in so long. I've been living off savings for so long. Yeah. And I want to do shows and stuff. Like that was always what I wanted to do.
Yeah, of course.
Because right now I'm taking the rapper route, basically. Yeah. Except that I don't think like it's expected in rap in the rap world
not to have a band,
to just play stuff off your laptop basically and do concerts that way. I don't know if people would come to rock shows like that.
Yeah, right.
I probably think they wouldn't, you know?
Yeah.
Just a different culture, different
unless you wanted to hire a band to back you up and like learn your songs, but that doesn't seem like.
Well, that's kind of what I want to do.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if people. I'd have to feel it out.
Yeah.
But I don't know if people would be cool joining the band of a solo artist and just rehearsing with him.
Yeah. Would you keep the name, just the solo act Memphis Gatsby name?
Yeah, definitely. I'm at this point. I'm like.
Or would it be Memphis and the Gatsbys?
No, it would be Memphis Gatsby. Like, so I'm a solo artist now, 100%.
Yeah.
So maybe I'd have to pay people to do some rehearsals. Obviously, couldn't sustain that for very long. But
right.
Yeah, feel it out. See.
Mm-hmm. Have you done any of that searching yet, or no?
No.
No. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. So who would you be looking for this band? Like just another guitarist?
Yes, 2 guitars, bassist, and drummer.
Okay. Would you be doing any guitarring? Like
no,
playing guitar while
just
you're singing?
Yep.
Okay. That does seem incredibly difficult. I remember we used to jam down in this basement.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. There has not maybe ever been like a really hard desire for me to like learn an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wish there was. It's like a cool skill to have to like mess around with and like create music.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really either.
Really?
I only learned to write music and I don't push myself at all to get better at guitar.
Oh,
that's
okay.
like it's still not a goal of mine at all.
Yeah. You want to be good enough to play what you want to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not even to play. I don't need to. Like.
What do you mean?
Like, I just want to be able to write.
Okay.
Like, yeah. I don't want to say what I can't say what I really want to say.
Really? Why?
Just.
I can cut it out
for mysterious purposes.
Okay.
For keeping
Will I know off mic or no?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Good. As long as the listeners are the only ones left in the dark, I'm fine with that. Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Have you considered trying to like learn any other instruments or no?
I've thought about piano, but based on my ideas for the next album, I won't need it.
Okay.
Maybe for an album down the road.
Yeah. Do you... Man, I don't know. My music vocabulary is so limited, so sometimes it's hard for me to like...
Put your thoughts into words.
Yeah, exactly. My feelings into thoughts. I need music for that. What kind of stuff inspired you as the most basic question I can think about in a music interview?
So yeah, I mean, number one influence is the Strokes.
Right.
Number two, I generally say is the Rolling Stones, I would say.
Okay.
It wasn't, I mean, you know, I think every artist who you love and every piece of music that you love kind of inspires you in some way.
Right, it pulls you in the direction.
It adds something to your toolbox, even if you don't realize it.
Right.
But in terms of like direct influence, yeah, I would say Strokes number one for sure. 2, Rolling Stones. Like that's mainly it, really.
Okay.
Because the idea that I had, I wanted to be, and you know, I would maybe New York Dolls too a little bit. I really like the New York Dolls and kind of Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
Kind of glamish punk.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the idea I had was to sound like a version of the Strokes, who were influenced more by Chuck Berry, the Rolling Stones. This is like a message I sent out to people. So it's like something I copy and paste. This is a copy and paste sentence right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The goal is to sound like a version of the Strokes that sound more like Chuck Berry, Rolling Stones, 50s rock and roll, that kind of lineage, rather than Lou Reed, Ramones, 70s punk, and proto-punk.
Okay.
That was like the idea.
That's
of
the
the
elevator
sound.
pitch.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think you've achieved that sound, or do you think you have further?
Yeah,
to go?
I mean, I would say that's like for the listener to decide. It's hard to say on your own music. It definitely sounds a lot like the Strokes, but I mean, some songs do it more than others.
Yeah.
I mean, like Early Morning That's a song on the album for those of you who don't know. That's
and it's got a music video up on good old YouTube.
Check it on out.
Absolutely.
Presented officially by Ralph Lauren.
I
It's
know,
incredible.
dude. Yeah,
dude.
can you tell us the backstory behind that music video? What exactly happened?
No, I cannot.
Oh, okay. For legal reasons.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You're going to have to check it out if you want to know about it, then, I guess.
Yeah, it's keeping that mysterious as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, very generous of Ralph Lauren to sponsor that video.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. And sponsor this podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Use code FELLAS at checkout. Get 25% off. Oh my god, I totally just lost my train.
This has gone like an interview. Is this what you expected this to be?
I don't know what I expected this to be. Honestly, I wasn't really sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I don't know how much of the podcast you've listened to, but Zane and I often have absolutely no idea what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We just press record and then we
that's
have
cool.
our episodes that way. Sometimes we have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I'm going to be honest, I didn't have anything. I was like, yeah, he'll probably be good at talking. But yeah.
And I have not been.
And you've been an utter disappointment. I hit record just so you know. I don't know if we want to, whatever. But anyway, for everyone at home, we just got back from a little bit of a break. But Chris, another thing I wanted to know, as this will be the last episode going up before New Year's, do you have any resolutions?
Not so much resolutions. Not so much a resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never do that. But I have thought about doing like some sort of fitness challenge.
Right.
Like do like 100 push-ups every day for 30 days or 100 pull-ups every day for 30 days.
My God.
I have thought about doing something like that.
Have I ever shown you the anime One Punch Man?
I know of it, but no, I don't.
Okay, so basically the premise is that there's this guy and he's just so impossibly powerful and strong and fast.
And elastic. Isn't he?
No, not really. He's just like, and like indestructible in a world full of superheroes. But nobody really knows him. He's not very popular, whatever. He's like looking for acceptance, basically. And he's pretty boring, so he doesn't have these big fan bases. But in like episode 3 or something, you discover how he got his powers. And it was by doing 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, a 10-kilometer run, and a couple other things every single day for a whole year.
Okay, I guess I gotta do that.
Yeah, if you want to do and also he would eat a banana for breakfast. I know, big on the fruit.
Yep,
that works for you. Yeah, so you should try the One Punch Man challenge.
I'm not running, but
not a 10-kilometer run. How long is that? That's like 4
Absolutely
miles. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
4 or 5 miles, not happening.
No, not into the running.
Right.
It's not. Yeah, and distance running, like it's not even like that good for you, right? I don't think it is.
I mean, for cardio, it's good for you.
Kind of, but apparently it's bad for your joints and like.
Isn't that what we were evolved to do as humans?
To run distance?
Yeah.
No. There'd be no
just
reason
to, like,
for a
travel
human
distance?
to. There'd be no reason for a human to do long distance running in the African rainforest.
Yeah, true.
We'd either walk or we'd sprint to get away from a predator, and that's really it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, alright, what do you consider distance running?
Mid-paced over a long distance.
Okay, like a mile, that's definitely like...
Jogging is...
generally.
Yeah.
Until you're, like, dead, until you're very tired.
Just jogging. There'd just be no reason to jog.
Really?
Yeah, there'd be no reason for it.
This is so counter to everything I've ever heard about jogging, generally calling it a good hobby to have.
Yeah, I mean... It's bad for your joints, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, so generally speaking, though, you want to do some sort of fitness thing.
I mean, yeah, either push-ups or pull-ups.
Yeah.
100 a day, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Every day for the rest of your life.
For 30 days.
Okay.
Which is the rest of my life, pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
Dark. No.
I don't plan on living much longer than 30 days either. You never know what's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
You got to live for the moment. I was thinking a very similar thing, though, as far as fitness goes, especially once the holidays are over and I can be back on, like, a routine.
Mm-hmm.
because there's nothing from like New Year's till like April, I don't think, where I just get a day off. So it'll be good to just actually build hobbies back, or not hobbies, but habits back up. Because right now it's like, even when I'm home, even if it's for like a whole week, I'm still like inconsistent because I don't have like the habit down.
Yeah. I mean, I'm home. We're home for the holidays right now.
Yeah.
For the viewers. And like, I feel like in the past, every time you come home, it's like eat a ton of bad food. Smoke weed. Maybe drink. And like, you just lose so much momentum of whatever. And now like, I don't really do any of that stuff anymore.
That's good. So you think you could like pick up momentum much like very quickly?
Yeah. It's hard to do work at home too, though.
Yeah. That's true. I have one day on the clock this week, and it's tomorrow, and I'm like, oh man, I've been wearing the same sweats for over 48 hours now, and I've just been watching Netflix, like laying down on the couch. Outside of going to Aunt Cindy and Uncle Kenny's.
Well, I was thinking last. Okay. Yeah. No, sure.
Since then, which has been a couple days now, no, not even to like get the mail, throw something out. Unless you count like the deck. I walked out onto the deck because it's cold and we keep like food out there. Yeah, other than that, have not been outside.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
So, outside of the fitness thing, okay, resolutions, I feel like there's two kinds. There's like, I want to accomplish this thing during this year. And the other one would be like, I want to do this over a prolonged period of this year. Like, I want to stay consistent at something. Or a diet or something like that. But yeah, I'm looking to buy another house this year, hopefully. That works out. But yeah, I've never been much of a goal setter in my life. I don't really ever have formal goals, unless it's like, except for like wrestling. But even then, until I won nationals, I never had the goal of being until like I was then the next year I was like, oh, I hope I do at least that good again. But yeah, no, generally speaking, I'm not like a goal-oriented person.
I have very short-term and very long-term goals. So like my very short-term, every day I wake up and my goal is to send out at least 100 messages. I'm promoting my music. And that's kind of like what I try to do every day, but like it's hard to even do that when I'm home. Which is funny because I kind of upped it. Now when I'm in the city, like I was saying out 100 a day, I was like, you know what, let's do 200. Like let's set that bar high and grind that shit out.
Absolutely.
And when I got home, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do 200, but if I get just 100, that's okay.
That's still
that was what I was doing before. Like that was a good day before.
Right.
And now I'm home and I'm struggling to even get 100 out. It's crazy.
And the odd thing is I have nothing but time when I'm here. That's another.
Well, it's the same for me. So it's
But okay, fair.
That's no different for me.
But I've found that's been, and maybe it's just because I'm a procrastinator and this is like how it comes out. But the more time I have to accomplish a task, the less likely it is to get done. If I'm like, I got 3 hours to like get this thing done, it needs to be done now, or whatever it is. It's like, I'm about to leave for the airport. I gotta pack now.
Dude,
It's if I have a whole day or a weekend or a week, it's not likely to get done till the very end, and I will also very possibly forget it somewhere in the middle. Whereas like, if it has to have a fast turnaround, that works just a lot better for me.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you find people to send your music to?
So basically, I just go on to Strokes pages on the various social medias. So Reddit r/The Strokes and all that stuff. And then I just message people saying, hey, I see you're a Strokes fan. They're my biggest influence. Check out my stuff, essentially. And that's it.
Just like random users on those pages?
I mean,
Do you ever like post on those pages?
No.
You don't think that would help?
No.
Interesting.
And it's it's so much better to send someone a direct message.
Yeah.
So much better to actually, for someone to see that pop up in their own DM box.
Yeah.
Most people probably never receive DMs.
Mm-hmm.
So when they get the notification, it's like, ooh, what is that?
Yeah, right.
They see that little one.
Yeah.
That little notification.
Yeah. This artist out there who picked me because he wanted me
yeah,
to
I
see
mean,
his
yeah,
stuff.
it basically has that effect.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did post, like when I first released it, I did post on Reddit.
Oh, your
and
album.
Okay.
And
it did get it got 2 comments and 5 upvotes.
Oh, nice.
And
Okay.
No, but that's nothing.
Yeah. It's more than I've ever gotten on anything.
So yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. Actually, the most likes and upvotes and comments I ever got on a picture or on a post was the picture of Mike's dad in the shorts with the dog and the oar.
On Old School Cool. Did you
On
post
it was Old School Cool, and there was, it might have just been r/photos, and then someone there told me to repost the Old School Cool. Yeah, that was my most interacted with post I've definitely ever seen.
Do you remember how many likes?
I could find it real quick. We could say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go for it.
All right. I don't have many posts, and that was from years ago. Let's see.
Just so you
Did
know.
you post your music video?
No, I did not.
Okay.
No. Thinking about posting in r/music videos, but.
How the hell did this kid get Ralph Lauren?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Alright, let's see if I can find it. Oh my god, I actually never use the Reddit app, especially to look at my own stuff. How do I find my own posts?
Click your profile. It's registered on your profile.
Okay. My profile. I have 0 Reddit coins. I've fallen out of touch with Reddit. There's so many new awards and currencies.
I will honestly, I don't like it.
You don't like the platform?
I don't. People get really snippy all the time. I mean, I hate all the social media so much now. I can't. If I were to get signed, first thing I'm, delegating to someone is all the social media shit.
Right.
It's
yeah.
just
have someone manage that.
For those of you who don't know, I had no social media before this music thing before I had to promote it.
Yeah, you were
And it's
unfindable
just
except on Mom's Facebook.
Yeah. And it's I hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you hate? Tell me why you hate it. How does it make you feel?
So I'm not active. I'm still not active on it. I still try not to look at it, but it's just I can't explain it. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just messes with you. It's just not good for your mental health. It's just not the social matrix that the mind of human beings were designed to be plugged into.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a crude representation that's hijacked us.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like what I noticed between our last session and this session was I didn't really ask you any questions back.
Oh, I mean,
and
fine.
I feel like it kind of made it an interview because I wasn't.
Maybe.
Whereas you asked me about the resolutions.
Yeah.
And then I asked you back, do you have I'm being more conversational.
Yeah.
Rather than feeling like I'm being interviewed.
Yeah.
It's better.
I mean, to be fair, I also asked you to come on this podcast, so I probably should have had, I don't know, maybe something prepared, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's working. Conversations are cool. You're figuring them out.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll have a real one day.
A real conversation.
Yeah, with a real person.
That'd be nice.
What would you like? I mean, you could talk about this stuff, but you have to make sure you ask them back.
About music?
Yeah, music, spirituality.
Yeah, for sure.
No. To be fair, I also don't have a music career of which to ask.
Yeah. I can't. That's true.
I mean, you could, though. You could try.
And you're an atheist, so I can't really ask you about spirituality. No, I mean.
No, but, yeah, that's something that, it's always been kicked around, because for this podcast, I really don't promote it much. I really don't promote it at all, other than, telling friends about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, I was thinking since you have a decent amount of Instagram followers.
Yeah.
you could just convert your page into the podcast Instagram.
Right.
And you start off with this huge boost of all these followers and...
See, for some reason, I still want a separation there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not sure why, because it's not like I really value my personal Instagram and this collection that I've put together, my specific feed.
I could see how you would value that, though.
Right.
I mean, it's like with video games.
Yeah.
It does, like, if you have, I don't know, like, say, a World of Warcraft account.
Yeah.
Say you're done with it, you never play it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had some crazy account that was a super high level or points, I don't even know anything about World of Warcraft. But, like, you would still be hesitant to delete it. You would still just want it to be there.
Yeah.
So
2 things. 1, also switching my account to a couple of fellas' account, and this is something I shouldn't care about, but some part of me tells me I shouldn't care about this, but that people followed my profile because they know who I am.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it's something else. And if
Yeah.
I'm like constantly posting for promotion stuff, I'm like...
You've deceived them.
I've deceived them, and now they have to do the awkward, quote-unquote awkward thing that I would never notice of unfollowing me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing. And 2...
Or you could just... Yeah, well,
But I shouldn't care what people think is
Yeah.
the thing. But I do.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if I'm going to get around that.
Yeah.
Like, was it hard for you when you were dropping your music? Was that ever something you considered? Like, people I know are going to listen to this, and that's like a deterrent for me putting it out?
I think that's a motivator to make it, like, good, to try to make it good.
That's yeah, true.
Yeah, and I mean... Yeah, you think about what other people are going to think, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, if I didn't think about that, I probably would have gone headfirst into music years and years ago, you know?
Yeah,
and,
right.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you ever... I'm trying to think, because now a decent amount of people who you know but haven't spoken to in a long time know about your music. Are you ever curious what random ass people, like, do you ever like, oh my god, this person who I went to high school with, I wonder what they...
You know, it's funny, like, I was expecting it to get like 100 listeners,
Mm-hmm.
or at least like 50 listeners from our hometown.
Yeah.
I just assumed, being that it's a small town, people would gossip, like, oh, did you hear it?
Yeah, right.
He released an album, like,
Yeah.
and just, even if I didn't expect people to be like listening to it on repeat,
Yeah,
but just to
checking
check it out and give me the and so I would see it on Spotify, and like, no, didn't happen at all.
Interesting.
So it's like,
People who knew you personally all listened to it, obviously, but like...
only the close friends.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Like,
Yeah. I
but
guess that's what I meant by personally, is like
Uh-huh.
close friends.
Yeah. I expected more people to check it out, but that's cool. That's fine.
Yeah. You could be the biggest thing to ever come out of this town, dude.
Yeah,
Imagine.
for sure.
Going on a world tour.
Uh-huh.
Oh, actually, we're getting kind of close to the end here.
We could just keep it going for an hour.
Yeah, we could just keep it going
And
for
just
an
try
hour.
to get this, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I do want to see that Beatles documentary. Should we talk about that? I mean,
yeah, sure.
Because I want to watch the rest of that.
Oh, yeah, I'd be down.
Did you really? We watched the first episode together.
Oh, Get Back on Disney Plus.
Yeah, in
Shout
case
out.
anyone's wondering what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Did you, like, really enjoy it?
I wouldn't say really enjoyed
I was
it.
pretty glued to it, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm also a bigger Beatles fan than you are. And a
Yeah,
bigger
definitely.
music fan than you are.
Yeah, bigger music fan in general. The thing is, I found it entertaining. But this is also, like... the first time I tried to watch it, I couldn't just sit down and watch it in one go.
Yeah.
Like, it does lose my attention eventually, because it is... I like how, like, natural it is and how candid it is, but it also feels directionless, except for the fact that they are moving forward in time ever closer to this, like, deadline that they have.
Yeah.
But outside of that, and I guess it was kind of cool seeing over the first episode how they get better at the song and how the songs become more developed over time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just, I don't know. Most documentaries have some sort of, like, narrative built into them, and I feel like this one does a lot less. But I also do appreciate that because I think, here's the thing.
It's like you're just hanging out with the band.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
so cool.
You're just hanging out with the Beatles for 8 hours across the entire documentary. But for me, I think that just generally documentaries are not my favorite form of media. I think more often than not we'll lose interest in a documentary before it's over.
Okay.
Like, just about always.
I would definitely say that's not the case.
I wouldn't say just about always, but a good portion of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, I stopped, like, watching all Netflix pretty much. I limit my YouTube so much when I used to watch a crap ton of YouTube.
Yeah.
And watching this documentaries kind of made me realize, like, I should watch a little bit more stuff that kind of might inspire me, especially for the visual element of it.
What do you mean?
Which is funny. Like, so much of the aesthetic of the documentary has just got my imagination kind of going.
Right.
The clothes, you know, like the mustard-colored turtleneck sweater that George was wearing.
That was one thing you noted, was how fashionable everybody was.
Yeah. Just the colors of the wall, the old film, just the whole aesthetic of everything. Like, we're all so visual with music. We think it's like a purely sonic thing, but like we're all visual, and it's all about what the music stimulates in your mind's eye visually.
Okay.
It's about how the music captures your imagination in that way, and it's just good to get that constant stream of inspiration.
Okay.
And I feel like I've kind of been lacking that. But I don't know if I don't really think it takes away from the music, but it's good to have my imagination going like that for inspiration and for future.
Right. Because I feel like you've said
creations.
before that music videos can often detract from a song. Like the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Or not even the aesthetic, just the fact that
I'd rather listen to a song than watch the video. I would rather just listen to the song.
Right, okay. So the aesthetic, aside from the fact that it is a musical environment in Get Back documentary, has inspired you.
It doesn't even have to be music. There doesn't have to have been music involved. It's just the aesthetic, the old film. Yeah. And just getting visuals, and because like when I'm imagining Honky-Tonk Disco, you imagine, and whatever your favorite album or song is, or your band, you know, you're imagining a place. You imagine it taking place somewhere. Yeah. It just brings images to your mind.
That's I wonder if you could have this same conversation to someone with that mental, I want to say disorder, I don't know if that's rude, but the thing where they don't have a mind's eye, essentially. They can't picture things in their mind. Yeah. And they're totally, people don't realize that they have this until they hear about this condition on, like, I remember there was a big viral thing on, like, YouTube and whatever, of people hearing about this disorder and finding out that they have it.
Yeah, it's like you have to imagine a red star or something like that. And on a scale of 1 to 10, rate how clear this is in your mind.
Yeah, or even like if I said to you, picture an apple. What color is it?
Red.
What is it on? Is it on something?
No, I just have it in black space.
Just in a void?
Yeah.
Interesting. Because some people, like, even then they'll say, because I remember when someone asked me this, I was like, oh yeah, it's on like a table. I don't know. But yeah, and some people just have nothing, which is... You were talking earlier...
I didn't even imagine, like, a real apple. I meant, like, an emoji apple, like a symbol of an apple, yeah.
Oh, I go photorealistic apple. Yeah. But, I guess my imagination's better than yours. But, oh my god, I was going somewhere with that. Oh yeah, earlier in the podcast you were saying how we can't even comprehend of lower levels of consciousness, and that's exactly what these people are compared to us. Yeah. Is less conscious beings who can't picture things in their mind. So imagine merging our God network with theirs.
Helping them out.
Yeah, exactly. We would lift them up because we are better than them.
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Do you work out?
Yeah, not a ton lately. Not since like, not very. I've maybe gone like, I want to say less than 5 times this month, and probably even only a few times in November too. Just between like I was traveling, and then it was Thanksgiving, and then I was like traveling again, and then Christmas and New Year's, and I just haven't been able to get into a routine. But generally, yeah, I try to.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly just weights, although sometimes I still go down to wrestle with the Yukon team.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I've thought about doing.
What?
But not like seriously, but thought about as something that I would like to get into. Some sort of combat-ish sport, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, something like that.
Yeah. Jiu-jitsu's cool. And this would be purely for a fitness thing, not an actual self-defense thing, or what? Because, dude, I will tell you, I've gone to jiu-jitsu gyms, and I'm a fairly good wrestler, and that would help me a lot. But some of these people I would have, 80 pounds on, and would absolutely choke me the fuck out. Like, they wrecked me. And I would, like, be controlling them for a while, but I could never submit them. They would never get choked or, like, get in an arm bar or something like that. They were able to just, like, evade for long enough to, like, choke me out.
And if it was just, like, a fight,
if I was just throwing fists at them, like, if I was ground and pounding them, I'd probably do better than I did in just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu if I was allowed to. But even then, I don't know how to throw a punch.
But no, say no punches, no blows, no striking. Is there striking in Jiu-Jitsu?
No.
Yeah. So, just a general scrap with no striking. Like, would you have won?
I was trying to.
But it was jiu-jitsu rules.
Right. So you're saying if I could, like...
Just throwing a cradle or something.
A cradle isn't a good move in an actual fight. It doesn't do anything to the person damage-wise. It only restrains them as long as both of your hands are tied up around them.
Yeah, but...
You can hold them there.
It works in wrestling, so why wouldn't... I'm basically...
Because wrestling ends when someone's pinned. A fight, if they're laying on their back in a cradle, they're not getting any more tired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I understand. Yeah. I got you.
There's some things about wrestling that are very good in a fight, and some things that are very bad. Like, not wanting to be turned to your back is like... That's why jiu-jitsu, if you're on the ground and you're on bottom, you are on your back so you can face them, hands up, like, defend yourself. If you go down like you would in wrestling and you're, like, on your hands and knees or flat on your stomach, like... You're getting the absolute shit kicked out of you in a fight. Like, if they can just tie you up from behind, I don't know.
Oh.
It's not exactly a good, it's not a good habit to have when defending your life. Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah. That's why I consider wrestling, there's a spectrum from sport to fight. And wrestling is definitely closer to sport. Yeah. And MMA is definitely closest to fight. And then Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is kind of somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Closer to fight than sport, though, I would say.
Yeah.
Or martial art than sport. Yeah.
Boxing's way over on the fighting side, I'd say.
I'd say boxing's more on the sports side. It's so restrictive in what you can, like, do. Can't, like, clinch at all. Like,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just you're punching. You're just trying to... You are just trying to beat the crap out of the other guy. Like.
That's true. Oh my god. I would never want to compete in boxing, dude. I would like to learn how to box. I think that'd be a cool skill to have. But to do a sport where even when you win, you can still, like, get a fucking concussion and, like, your teeth knocked out.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hell no.
And, I mean, to be, like, a really good... athlete in any of these sports, like, they're all crazy a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
They all got, like, demons and shit.
Yeah, the best ones. Or they're very religious a lot of the times, too. Some of the best guys are, like, very religious.
What's his name? Khabib?
Yeah, Khabib. Jordan Burroughs, very religious.
Okay.
Just in the national tournaments I would go to, a lot of Mormons were very good at wrestling. Yeah, I don't know. Also, one of the best, like, schools in our league was Liberty University, which was, like, a religious college that I think teaches creationism. I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't want to be I don't want to be putting this school on blast if I'm wrong, but that's a rumor I heard and I believed it at the time. Oh yeah, so would you want to learn striking, or if you were to do like a martial art, what kind would you want to do?
I mean, I thought about jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
Partly because Russell Brand.
Yeah,
has
it's
done
very
videos on it,
popular
and it's
right now.
piqued my interest.
Yeah. It's also a lot lower impact than like wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot of hard takedown. It's a lot of just, when you escape, you're not supposed to get up. You're supposed to like basically stay down on the mat, keep figuring it out. But I remember I went to Zane's gym for BJJ, and at the end of it, they did an hour straight of 6-minute live matches, 10 rounds, 6 minutes apiece. Just find a random person and go live with them.
Man,
it was brutal. I couldn't do it. I sat out like almost half the rounds.
Yeah, part of the reason why I want to do this is because I don't want to lift weights. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
and also it's like, you can go to the gym, and say like, do every little leg exercise, all the abductors, and like try to get every little muscle through weight.
Yeah.
If you go and play soccer for one day, you will be crazy sore in places that you can't
lift.
Get from lifting, like real movements and running around, wrestling. Like they're so much more well-rounded in terms of working out everything. That's kind of why I want to do something like that.
I would say, I think I had this conversation with Zane before, but I think fighters in general have the most optimal human bodies, and then like right after that is like gymnasts. But like,
it's debatable
athletes.
whether we'd have like that much muscle.
Oh, just in general.
Like I don't. Yeah.
Be that lean naturally, also.
Yeah, be that lean, and just like, yeah. Be that lean and have that much muscle
at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like the main exercise for human beings that we are designed for is walking.
Yeah.
Like we are walkers, we are foragers. That's what we are.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And even that even helped in hunting animals that we could track over until they just got tired. We could just follow them. Mm-hmm. Controversial, I know.
Disagreements about the origin of man and what we're supposed to be eating, for sure.
What does that mean, supposed to be eating?
What we were designed for. Every animal has their diet that they are designed for. That they know what to eat. There's no question about what they eat.
Right.
Yeah, and humans have that too. We can't agree on what that is, but there has to be one. That's just how it works, you know?
You don't think it might be different for different people?
So we've definitely gotten better with certain things. So in Europe, they had livestock and farm animals basically. So they, European people and populations and Caucasians all around the world, they do better with lactose, whereas in Asia it's like the vast majority of the population is lactose intolerant. So like we've gotten better with certain things, but when we're talking about like fundamental to the animal, the design of the digestive system, and just like the family of animal we come from, like we're primates. Primates eat fruit. That's just how it works. Like you don't see like lions and tigers having different diets. No, they
eat what's around them.
They eat meat. Any big cat eats meat. When you're in the same family of animal, like you have the same diet.
But there are omnivores.
Like
naturally.
Yeah.
But you just think that we don't fit that category.
Well, so chimpanzees are classified as frugivorous omnivores, meaning like omnivores who eat mostly fruit.
Okay.
But there's the debate on whether we're supposed to eat meat, it goes pretty deep.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I definitely don't have the information to go at
Well, we definitely don't have the design of the body to be eating meat.
Okay.
Any animals that eat meat, only carnivores, have a very short and wide digestive tract. Whereas fruitarians and frugivores and herbivores have longer digestive tracts because the stuff isn't like toxic to the point where you have to get it out of your system. Yeah. Okay. So like you have like a lion that weighs like a ton. I don't know how much they weigh. They weigh like a frick ton.
A lot of
800, 600 pounds, 700 pounds. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And they have a 5-foot digestive tract. Whereas
it's just a straight shot.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Whereas human beings can weigh 100 pounds, and we have a 30-foot digestive tract. Yeah, because it just winds and winds and winds and winds. Yeah.
Because meat is more likely to have things that are toxic to most animals.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So if they have such a short...
And I know, don't quote me on this, but I think as meat consumption has rise, so has colon cancer.
Okay.
Like, pretty correlated. I'm not 100% sure about that, though.
Yeah, I mean, that is something you hear a lot, that red meat tends to cause cancer. But I know it's like a boomer meme to say this, but like, oh, doesn't everything cause cancer these days? Like, I feel like I hear that so much about what causes it and what prevents it. And maybe there is just a scientific consensus on all of it, and I just can't keep up. That also reminds me of things that people would say in like middle school, like orange Gatorade lowers your sperm count.
Let's say Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I've legitimately heard that from multiple people from high school, from college. I don't know.
Really?
I wonder if this is true.
Might be.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're not good for you.
Yeah.
So
they're made of lab chemicals, basically.
I'm sure they have a host of problems on their own. But what about when you need electrolytes, dude? What do you do for them?
Eat what my body craves.
Oh, yeah.
Eat the fruit my body craves, basically.
Like,
or vegetables.
And it doesn't crave Gatorade?
No.
Oh, okay.
Probably would if I started drinking it, because all that stuff is addictive.
Weird to think of Gatorade as addictive. But
well,
yeah.
Sugar.
Yeah, true.
Processed sugar. Refined sugar. How much time we got left on this guy?
Oh, we're like, I mean, if we're going for an hour, we still got like, what would that be, like 25 minutes? If we're not going for an hour, we have more than enough.
You know what you should do for New Year's for your resolution?
What's that?
Vegan challenge.
Vegan challenge? The thing is, I'm going out to dinner with customers in like 2 weeks. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to be the vegan at the table for that. A vegan challenge. Yeah. It would give me something to check in with in the podcast. A guaranteed segment.
Nice. Yes.
But do I want to agree to this right now? How long is the challenge?
You can do. I mean, as long as you want. 2 weeks. A
day.
A day.
A meatless Monday challenge.
Fruitarian for a month.
I'm too weak, dude. I can't agree to this. I'm sorry. There's too many things. Like, that's my whole... I would have to plan a lot if I were to do it. I'd have to start with planning, see if this is even feasible for me. Because it may be impossible.
How could it be impossible?
Because it can't be done. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So glad we agree on that. I'll look into this with you. This may be an off podcast conversation because the entertainer in me really wants to say, "Fuck yeah, dude, I'm doing it." But then the realistic side of me says, "Well, hold on, that's a lot of vegetables and no meat for quite possibly a lot of days." Yeah,
but you could do as many substitutes as you want. Not for the fruitarian, but if you just want to do vegan.
Yeah.
You can get tempeh. It's like delicious.
Yeah. One thing I was reading about, or not, I shouldn't say reading because I'm illiterate, but what I was watching about on YouTube was how a lot of plant-based things say they have protein, but they don't have all the amino acids that real protein has.
Protein.
Yeah, animal protein has. And if you don't have all of them, then whatever you're insufficient in limits how much of the other ones you can absorb. So the quality of the protein is just the highest generally in animal proteins, or you just have to get several different kinds of vegetable proteins.
Yeah, I mean, because we did our blood tests, and you had more protein deficiencies than I did.
Yeah, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
And I eat meat and eggs like a mofo.
And I don't.
Sometimes I wonder how legit that was, but
yeah,
I bet it was fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I got some vitamins.
I know nothing about who those people were or whatever.
Yeah, I was told to give blood, and I did. Do you have any resolutions regarding like size of audience or anything, or is it just
no? Because that's just like the short term goal. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all fine.
That's right near the mic as well. No, because all of that kind of stuff is very short term. I'm trying to hit like daily goals. Like if I can get 3 followers in a day, like on Spotify, like that's fantastic. Okay. And so I'm trying to send out 100 messages. Like that's all built into the how many messages a day I need to send out.
Right.
So yeah, all my goals for the music is super, super short term, really, and the very long term stuff.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Challenge to all the podcast listeners. Post 5 of your favorite Memphis Gatsby songs on all of your social media. There
Post
you go.
10 of your favorite
post your top 10 in order favorite Memphis Gatsby songs. And make each one of them its own story in Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. And sure, your YouTube Reels if you have a profile. You're going to get at least 3 one day, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, one of these days. I have a very loyal fan base who will do anything that I ask for. So if you have any requests, like, let me know.
I'm curious on the stats of this podcast. So how many viewers do you get
a day?
Yeah.
Oh, like
2.5
mil, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I like never look at this. I've looked at them before, but like very briefly. Like every now and then, it'll come in my email, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, let's see what's going on." But I don't really remember any of them.
Do you know if you have any followers that you don't know in real life?
Ooh. So I've definitely gotten comments from people like on like YouTube and stuff from people I don't know in real life.
Oh, cool.
Not a ton of times. One episode was called "Everybody Loves Sam" because we had my friend Sam on. And somebody in the comment. Well, she showed it to a lot of people.
I just assumed it was
it's
her.
actually my most popular episode, I think, because she showed it to so many people.
Okay.
But I remember a comment was just someone saying, "Hey, I just Googled, my name is Sam, and I Googled Everybody Loves Sam, and I saw this episode." And I was like, "Hey, man, thanks for checking it out." But yeah, so every once in a while, something like that. And then also, this might be people using VPNs, I don't know. But I've seen on my Google podcast statistics, I think, or it was Sounder, the RSS feed I use to upload to a bunch of different podcast services. They'll show you where your listeners are coming from. And every once in a while, I'll have someone from like overseas, which is interesting.
I got tons from overseas.
Yeah, true. But you also...
That's music is different.
Yeah, exactly. And I've never shared it with anyone from overseas.
Okay, I do all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, numbers aren't crazy. It's only like, it's 2.5 mil a day.
Yeah, now I'm sharing more with people overseas than English speakers.
Yeah, I've seen some of the TikToks and stuff you've been featured in were in Spanish.
That I've been featured in?
Yeah, where people use your music.
What are you talking about? I have no idea.
People have used your songs in their TikToks.
I didn't know that.
You haven't seen those? You shared them with me.
Like what?
Oh man, I'll have to pull this up later. You shared one to like a group chat that we're in. It was some guy like doing like a drawing of like a wolf or something.
Oh, that was some Submit Hub type shit.
Oh, okay.
But that was English. That was English anyway.
No.
Oh, those. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that one was, but there was another one with a kid like speaking Spanish over.
Oh yeah, no, that was just Submit Hub, which wasn't worth it.
What do you mean it wasn't?
I had to pay.
Oh, how much?
For that one, like, that was super cheap.
Okay.
Like probably like $5 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
For him to just put your song in one of his TikToks.
Yeah.
Did he have a big audience?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. What a way to make a career.
Yeah.
How many TikToks does this guy pump out a day if he's charging $5 per?
He did a lot. He does a lot. Yeah.
So he gets buried pretty fast, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's something. If you were to hand over your social media presence to someone else to delegate that responsibility, if you were still doing TikToks, I bet you'd still have to be like filming them and doing most of that yourself.
Oh, I would stop doing that though.
Oh, you would?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Is that the worst part of social media?
Having to do that?
Having to do TikToks.
I don't know. I mean, there was a little while where it was kind of fun. It was a new challenge and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm still gonna try to find ways to like make it creative and stuff. But I don't know. It's just promotion.
Yeah.
And I just want to be making music, really.
Right.
Yeah.
How big is big enough to get an assistant? A social media manager.
Yeah. You need money. It's about
Yeah.
how much money is coming in.
Right. How much that would cost.
Yeah, I don't know. And like, there's plenty of people who are famous musicians and don't really do social media very much.
Yeah.
Like, I think Ezra from Vampire Weekend, I don't think he is active on social media at all.
Right.
A lot of the Strokes have been on and off and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
It seems like something you'd have to do at the start though nowadays, and then you could eventually, once you're big enough, like
yeah, exactly.
knock it off.
Yeah, exactly, and that's definitely the goal. That's a long-term goal, to not have to do social media for sure.
Okay. Oh, that'd be awesome.
But at the same time, like, you do want to be able to connect with fans, so maybe
Yeah, keeping
have
the
it all
accounts
on
open
my phone and just be able to pop on and stuff.
just do it when you want to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, dude, the fans need to know what you're up to.
Kind of. But then, I guess, yeah.
You gotta feel like they know you.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be their friend.
Yeah.
You have to be their best friend. They have to be able to trust
There's also
you.
just, like, newsletters and stuff. Just, like, email news. Like, if there's ever an announcement, just do it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels more personal somehow, too.
Yeah.
Like, I've signed up for a newsletter. I'm not just, like, you're not just among my feed on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming up on 46 minutes.
Seems like we're getting... I was going to say writer's block, but...
Yeah. It's a very weird thing when recording a podcast is that, especially when we're talking, it's not like I ever feel like I'm running out of things to say.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, but that's just because it can end. Whereas when I'm talking on a podcast, even if it's with my friends who I talk to all the time, I run out of things to say so quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just that having to perform. It's like having to like remember something.
Yeah,
on the spot.
I mean, music's the same way. I know there's this one Scottish guy who makes little music videos, memes, and like one of them he did was about how you can play something so easily, but once you hit record to then play it, then you can't fucking play it.
Yeah.
And that's so true. Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of performance things. It's more the fact, because if I've prepared for something, I'm usually pretty good about just like doing it live.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it came to cheerleading, which was more of a performance than anything, than like a sport, the way that we did it. So there was no improvisation. It was just like you drill this down and drill this down and drill this down, and then you can like do it in front of people. It doesn't matter how many people.
Yeah, just muscle memory.
You get a little bit of like nerves, I guess, but like it's not like you can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, now that I think we've reached the end of this podcast, dude, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Do you have any plugs you would like to share with our listeners?
Check me out, Memphis Gatsby. Check out my Instagram. That's kind of where the best content is, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just at Memphis Gatsby. And yeah, just check out Gatsby's Honky-Tonk Disco on all streaming platforms.
Hell
and
yeah.
YouTube. Check it on out.
And if you want to see the mystery of the music video, you can check out Early Morning by Memphis Gatsby on YouTube.
Yes.
Get the full lowdown on the delicious drama there. And we'll see you next time on A Couple of Things.